They didn't improve their run defense. They didn't improve their team. And not only did the Chiefs get better, but the whole division got better and the conference got better.
Oh, let's talk about the division. All right.
Yeah, let's talk about the division.
For example, the 49ers were the best team in the division last season, basically because the division stunk. I still think they're the best team in the division, but not by as much as last season. Let's go to Arizona. Arizona stunk. Yeah. Arizona, first, that quarterback, I don't know about that quarterback, but he can do things.
We're going to find out this year. We're going to find out this year about that quarterback.
But Arizona, I would say Iggy had a hell of a draft.
A lot of people think they had the best draft.
A lot of people think they had the best draft.
Yeah.
So, again, it used to be, oh, those are 2 wins. You look at the schedule. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's 1-1. Yeah. It'll be more competitive than it was. And the game when they came here and they had, what's his face? The
Dobbs.
Pastranaut. That was a pretty close game with him.
It was.
And with
Kyler Murray, we've always kind of written him off like he's not really serious about his craft. We felt the same way about Baker Mayfield. Mayfield had a pretty mature professional season last year in his mid-20s. We'll see if Kyler Murray can do that too. He came off an injury last year. He was decent down the stretch, and now he finally has a legitimate wide receiver. So if he's got anything, he'll show it this year.
Yeah, so anyway, what I'm saying is Arizona is not going to be a pushover. And the Rams improved last season and also had a good draft, Iggy. Explain how they had a good draft.
Well, they added 2 starters to their defensive line. That's helpful. And then also they drafted a running back in round 3 who was at Michigan with Jim Harbaugh. He looks really good. Blake Corum. He looks really good. And so he joins their backfield. And now they have the ability to run the ball more effectively than they've been able to do in years. And it seems like when they can run the ball, they're tough to beat. They also have 2 of the best wide receivers in football, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, and a very good quarterback and a good offensive line.
I don't take Seattle seriously at this time, but those 2 other teams have improved. So here's what I want to say. Those teams improved and the Niners didn't get worse. So it means those guys got closer to the Niners because the Niners didn't see any reason to improve. Well, and you're saying other NFC teams have improved too?
Packers
like
improved.
Detroit.
They're young. They're like the youngest team in the conference. They improved. Detroit improved. They added a big time cornerback in round 1. The Eagles improved. They signed Saquon Barkley this offseason. They added a bunch of starters on defense. They added Vic Fangio. They're going to be tough.
They're serious.
Right there. The NFC is last year. The Niners had such an easy road to a Super Bowl. It was the year for them to do it. The NFC was terrible. The Chiefs were worse than they'd been in a while, and they lucked out not having to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl because the Ravens destroyed them. And Joe Burrow was hurt, so the Bengals fell apart, and they still didn't win the Super Bowl. Now Burrow's back. The Chiefs are better. The NFC's better. It's going to be tougher. But the Niners stayed the same, which means they got worse because their competition got better.
Right. So by not getting worse, they got worse.
Right.
Kyle, this is logic here. Logic 101. Yeah. By not getting worse, you got worse because some of the league got better.
Yes.
You got me? Did you write that down?
Write it down.
There's going to be a quiz at the end of this.
This is good stuff. Write this down.
Yeah.
So they're probably still the best team in the NFC West.
But not by as much.
They don't stop the run very well. And the Rams can really run the ball. They got 2 excellent running backs. The Cardinals can run the ball. Kyler Murray's tough and James Conner's excellent. And the Seahawks don't really matter right now. But one day they might. One day.
But Iggy, explain again what the Chiefs did to the Niners offensive line that the whole league can see now.
Well,
in the Super Bowl.
That's it. I mean, not only did they shut down the Niners run game, but they were able to get pressure on Brock Purdy almost at will. And it seemed like they were able to disguise where the pass rushers were coming from, who was rushing, and they were confusing the 49ers offensive linemen, getting people in Purdy's face unblocked. And the one thing about Seattle, we don't really take them seriously because of their quarterback, but they just got They just fired Pete Carroll, who's stuck in the past, running some of the most vanilla schemes in the league, and hired the defensive coordinator from Baltimore, who kicked the crap out of the 49ers last year. So he schematically is going to be able to do, I mean, he's the one leading the trend of that type of disguised pressure. So the Seahawks are at least going to be able to put up more of a fight defensively when they face the Niners.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's interesting. It's like the Niners have been pretty much the same on offense and defense schematically for the last 4 or 5 years. They haven't changed a whole lot because they don't want to change. They got it all down, Dad. They've got it. And the rest of the league has looked at it and looked at it and looked at it and kind of figuring it out to the point where Chiefs shut it all down in the Super Bowl.
Also, the Niners did not do well against AFC teams, as you pointed out. AFC teams are good. They're a combination, which the Niners used to be when in the Walt Seifert days, a combination of finesse and power.
Yeah.
These Niners are more, especially on offense, finesse.
Yeah. I mean, their offensive line from center to right tackle is just finesse. It's small. It's not powerful. It's finesse. And then their defensive line, when they had Armstead when he was healthy, and they had Samson Ebukam, they could stop the run. But now that's a soft defensive line that's just dying to give up yards on the ground. And now the Eagles have Saquon Barkley.
He's a heck of a running back.
Yeah, the contenders in the NFC don't have great quarterbacks like they do in the AFC, but there's some teams that can really run the ball. So, Chris Tallarico, how timid is this front office? They don't have more than 3 roster spots for the rookies, and they don't trade up to get the players they needed, nor trade away Brandon Ayuk or Debo to get the ammo to do so. They want to stay the same, Chris.
Timid is a very good adjective. How about incompetent?
Unimaginative. Chris Tallarico says they wait and wait to pull the trigger on putting players on the block, and once they do, nobody wants them because they're too expensive. It's the Jimmy nonsense all over again. That is true. You want to trade Debo Samuel? You should have done that 2 years ago.